was hem.
Mom, kom aan. Allee, man. Ja, lekker, kom op. Hakje op rechts. Yes.
kids area, kilter boards. That's pretty nice. Campusing in roof is also really nice. Hangboards and crimps. Campus board and pegboard. And here also really nice campus board with mats. Weighted belts, what it looks like. Weights. That's also really nice, weights. Not a lot of weights though, but maybe there's something upstairs. So it looks like the stairs from the training area go to like the 8th floor where there's more bouldering. So I guess the training area is not that big. I'm also missing quite a lot of weights, like there's not like a lot of weights. But I do think the training area is really nice for campus training. And there's also really nice, there's also two really nice kilter boards. So.
And that's really nice for hangboard training as there's 4mm crimps.
So yeah, that's what should be rated. 8?
Yeah, it's a solid 8.
The only thing that I think is definitely like a minus point in this gym is you have to walk the stairs to the other climbing areas, like the 8th floor and the 6th floor. You have to walk on the stairs because the elevator doesn't work for some reason. Maybe it's just because we have a skill issue, but it's so annoying. And there's also like a lot of base climbers that climb here normally that also use the stairs. Feels like you're like running a marathon. So I don't really like that at all. Alright, so before we're gonna go into the rating, my finger skin was pretty bad this session. That's also why I did a lot less boulders than I usually would do. I would usually like do 3 times more boulders, but it's alright I guess. I just feel a little bit disappointed because I feel like I could have done more, a lot more boulders. And I could have shown more boulders of the gym, but instead I had really poor finger skin and yeah, I couldn't climb like I normally could do, so it kind of feels, yeah, I kind of feel bummed out, but it's alright I guess. Let's just go into the rating. Alright, so let's rate Routesetting. Some good things about Routesetting is dinosaurs set it really well, power walls are really nice and fun to climb. Definitely like, you know, the Grimpy White 7B was really nice to climb, and also the White 7A Plus that I flashed in the session was also really nice to climb. Some bad things though about Routesetting is not a lot of hard dinos, like there weren't like a lot of 9 dinos or 10 dinos. I think only like 2 dino number 9s and only like 2 dino number 10s as far as I've seen, and there were also like not really like a lot of hard dinos compared to the other gyms, and also a lot of the dinos were quite basic. I felt like the Min 7A Plus where you had to catch 2 holds was quite basic, and also the pink one was a bit basic, but I did like that one the most out of all of the dinos that I tried in this session. Also, there's like a lot of outdoorsy sharp holds that they set it with. I'm not really like a fan of these holds. When I climb in the gym, I kinda just want to climb boulders that don't cost a lot of finger skin, because I feel that, because I always have the problem that my finger skin runs out too fast. And also I'm not really a fan of like, you know, those outdoorsy holds that are just like straightforward crimping. And I felt that like quite a lot, that they kinda, you know, went back to you know, that setting outdoorsy holds and setting out the outdoorsy style. There's no problem with outdoor climbing. I really like outdoor climbing, but it's mostly like, you know, those really sharp tiny crimps, and then just like, you know, making a ladder out of it, and you know, it didn't really look that appetizing or really nice to climb. It kinda wasn't really like fun to climb at all, and I tried it a few times, but I already felt like it was basically like you were climbing on razor blades. I like the white 7, you know, the white classic holds from the Beest from the base gyms, where it's just like, you know, not too sharp of quims, but also that it's not like, you know, only jogs. I do like those holds more. So yeah, for me, I'm going to rate the Routesetting a 8. There were also some beta breaks of some of the other boulders, and there was also like a slab 8, which had like a mono as a, like a hold, as a second last hold, and you had to really like trust it and hit that hold perfectly. I think having monos on 8s is just like, you know, why? Like the 8 should be like somewhere, should be like the second hardest grade, and I guess it's, you know, you would want it to be like really hard, but it's like it was like a 6C, and having a mono in a 6C is pretty crazy, and like I didn't really like that a lot, and I was also quite frustrated when I saw that. I didn't really liked that they did that. So yeah, for me, it's going to get a 8. So it's time to rate Sociality / Friendlyness. This is gonna be a ride, so put on your seatbelts. It's going to be quite crazy what I'm going to tell you guys, because I had some pretty weird experience this session. So some good things were there were a lot of people spread out over the 3 bouldering sections, which made you know, which was really nice, because you don't have one bouldering section that where everyone climbs. It was quite, you know, chill, and there weren't really like a lot of people climbing in just one bouldering section, but there were like a lot of people just like spread it over them, which I think was really nice. Climbers were really nice and friendly. The vibe in the gym was really nice, and yeah, the staff was also really nice. So now the bad things. I have a lot to say about this, so please fasten your seatbelt. It's gonna be quite crazy. So there is a girl behind the bar. I don't know if she works here more often or it was just this one time, but she looked really unmotivated. And when we wanted to order, she basically just, you know, looked really unmotivated and looked really weird at us. It took her 2 minutes to, you know, go to the bar and help us with our order, because, you know, she was basically like talking with the other staff members and looking really weird at us, like for 2 minutes straight, which is just like really weird. Like we were just standing there and we wanted to order something to drink because we forgot our water bottles and we were quite dehydrated, and like she just looked really weird at us and took 2 minutes of our time to just like, you know, look really weird at us. Like it's really weird to order something or something. Like it's just really weird. And then when we ordered, I was like ordering in Dutch, and she understood what I was saying, but she still decided to speak in English. Like, what? And then after I had ordered, she went back to the staff and she started talking Dutch. Like just talk in Dutch. Like what? Like why? Like, and this is like the thing that I'm just not getting. Like what? Nah, and well, after that, yeah, the staff, she basically just like went back to the table where all the staff members sat down, instead of just like, you know, sitting all behind the bar or standing all behind the bar. That should happen, but instead the staff members and she just sat down, not working behind the bar, and just talked with each other in Dutch again. And then there was like a new group of people a few minutes later, and they basically got the same treatment, which I think is just really weird. Like, and I think this just ruined like a lot of like the Sociality / Friendliness, because if the staff just don't do the work because they rather want to just talk with each other in Dutch, like on a random table, like besides the bar, and don't want to work behind the bar, what's the point to even, you know, put them behind the bar where they should be working? Like, and then the fact that like, you know, you understand somebody and you just don't answer it in the same language, I think is also just really, really like disrespectful. And it just felt really like weird. Like I felt really, really weird, and I just didn't really knew what to do in that moment and what to think. Like the only thing that I said was that I wanted something to drink, and that I, you know, basically like pointed out what I wanted to drink in Dutch. And then she just started talking English, even though she is originally Dutch. And I'm just like, you know, telling this, I just still can't believe it. And I just, you know, I just don't have anything to say. So, yeah, the only thing that I have to say is this is gonna get a 7. I really like how the people, I really like the vibe of the gym. I really like, you know, the people climbing in the gym. They are really, really nice. But damn, they should really do something about the staff, because this was just bad. Like, it was just like really bad and really disrespectful, because having to wait 2 minutes and then having all this shit with that is just no. So yeah, I think that was basically like the worst thing in the gym. Let's now go over to the cleanliness. Some holds were quite choked up, so I had to really brush them, and some holds felt a little bit sweaty, but overall the holds were really, really clean. And yeah, there's like not really like a lot bad to say about the cleanness, so I'm gonna give it a 9. For safety/safeness, I'm going to give it a 8. I think they can maybe like do more with the safety rules. Like the training area had some pretty good safety rules, which definitely got like a lot of points. But when it came to the climbing, I think they could put more rules of what you have to do, and also put it in all of the bouldering areas, because the only bouldering area that had these safety rules was like the top floor bouldering area. That bouldering area basically had the safety rules of, you know, how to climb, what distance to, you know, have between climbers when you want to climb, you know, wait for your turn, that kind of like safety rules. While the other bouldering areas had no safety rules, so I think it's better. So I think the gym definitely should be having more templates of, you know, say those safety rules around the gym. But yeah, for the rest, it's really safe gym. People didn't walk on the mats, waited for the turns, and yeah, it was all quite safe. So yeah, for air quality, ventilation, and conditioning was quite nice. Like the air quality was really, really nice. Like there was not that much dust in the air. So yeah, I think I'm going to rate that like a 9. And for the conditioning, I felt like the air was quite clean. And like, you know, it also smelled clean in the gym. Um, yeah, but yeah, the air didn't really felt like, you know, cool. Um, so yeah, for me, I'm going to give conditioning a 7. And for the ventilation, like there were 3 fans in each of the bouldering areas. I think they could have maybe, you know, put some ventilators on the ceiling as well. So you don't have to like, you know, walk to the ventilator, stand in front of it, and then cool off, or, you know, go to a open window on the top floor to cool off, or on some of the other bouldering areas floors, because that was definitely like the case a little bit in the session. um, and like, you know, having these ventilators on the ceiling definitely helps a lot when you're just climbing, that you don't have to walk to one of the ventilators, and also, you know, spreading the air a little bit more. um, so yeah, I think if they do that, I think it's yeah, it could definitely get a 10 for the ventilation. But right now I think it's good to just leave it at a 7. So now it's time to yeah, go through the reviews. We have 4 today, and the first one is by In Night. We know this guy by now, I think, because we had a lot of reviews by this guy. He says roads are nice, holds 2, it's quite big, so pack slippers with you to avoid being barefoot on cold floor between floors. What surprised me to put only 3 is lack of any basic equipment in training room, no machines, barbell plus plates, dumbbells, just few plates for grip training and training boards, that's it. Also shower could have a bit more privacy with simple curtain. I do have to agree, this guy is quite right with that. I also saw no curtains in the showers. So yeah, and also with like the training area, I think they could have indeed put some machines there as well. So yeah, with all of this, I think I'm going to remove 2 points. I think this guy is completely right. And yeah, let's continue to the next review. So our next review is by Mick Hill, Nikki Forov. My primary gym these days, super nice setting and the beautiful panoramic view. This was my original review back when I just started climbing here. Now I see the carelessness of managers and route setters. Okay, setting can be okayish once every 2 months. Nothing seems to have changed over the 2 years of my subscription. Neither the poor selection of equipment in the gym area nor the uninspired route setting. The boulders lack variety, creativeness. Regardless of your skill level, the gym didn't have any updates in terms of climbing, volumes or macros since I started climbing here, and it's getting outdated and monotonous. The temperature is either freezing cold in the winter or exhaustingly hot in the summer. This is one of the worst examples of a commercial gym I've ever experienced, he says. I'm so motivated to finally switch to another gym. It was awful in every way. Like, what I don't get is, alright, so it's a bit basic, the route setting, but there's still like a lot of hard stuff in the gym. And this guy says that it's uninspired route setting. Like, come on, like what? Yes, the dinos are a bit basic. Yes, some of the power balls are a little bit basic. But in my experience with compared to other gyms, this Bouldergym is definitely not basic, and there's definitely no uninspired route setting. I've been to way worse gyms, and I think also the lack of creativity regardless of your skill level is also just not true. There's a lot of hard stuff in the gym. There's a lot of hard power boulders, a lot of really nice, interesting dynos. I do think the route setting can maybe use indeed a little bit more volumes or macroses, but to say that it's outdated and monotonous is definitely like a really like weird thing to say, because that's just not true. Like there's a lot of really interesting boulders and like definitely like a lot of really interesting and different styles. Then the temperature is either freezing cold in the winter or exceptionally hot in the summer. Well, if you just go to a fan, you just stand in front of the fan. It's not exhaustingly hot in the gym, and if it's freezing cold, like, alright, maybe they do have quite ventilation when it's cold, but it felt quite warm in the gym, like. And then to say it's awful in every way, that's just like, come on, my man. Like, are you a child or something? I'm just going to remove 0.5 points because this guy had one thing that was right, but come on, it's like a bad review. So our next review is by Ricardo A. The changing rooms are dirty and the soap dispensers are often empty. When you mentioned this to the staff, they looked as if you were saying something completely unreasonable. The staff seemed more interested in talking to each other than helping the customers. They also schedule group courses on busiest evenings in the weekend, which is a terrible decision for a gym that's already overcrowded. The location is nice, but the price to quality service ratio is completely out of proportion. So first of all, the changing rooms aren't dirty. The soap dispensers are just full. I didn't have one soap dispenser that was empty. The staff did look weird at you, and they were also more busy with talking to each other than helping their customers. For the courses, I can also say it's indeed true that they do that on the busiest evenings in the week. I definitely think that for the price you pay to enter the gym, I think also the service is just not really like, there. It's definitely like the price to quality service ratio is just completely out of proportion, like he said. So yeah, with all of this, yeah, I would say that he's almost completely right. I would say like minus 1.5 points. So our last review is by Sietse van Steenbergen. Terrible mess. The holds are old, slippery and covered in chalk and rubber from climbers' shoes. It's a shame because the gym has a lot of potential. I didn't saw this at all in the gym. I didn't saw a lot of shoe rubber on the holds, and definitely also it's not a terrible mess. Like slippery, I also didn't have that in the gym, otherwise I would slip away just as much times like I did in the gym Rijnbol in Arnhem. The holes look a little bit old, and there's also definitely like a lot of chalk in them. But yeah, to say it's like a terrible mess, like there's not like a lot like of bad stuff going around in the gym when it comes to the holds or like the cleanness. So I'm gonna say like -1 point, because half of it is like right, but the other half is just like a bit BS, but alright. So it's now time for the total score. So originally the total score was a 39.7, so a 7.9. But because we have to remove 5 points because of the reviews, the total score has now gone to a 34.7, which is a 6.9. So the gym dropped 1 point with a total score to a 6.9. Yeah, I do think compared to the other gyms from Beest, when spread it in the Netherlands, I do think this Beest gym is definitely like above average, but it's definitely like not as special as Beest Amsterdam, I feel like, or like as special as Beest Den Haag Centrum, but it's definitely like a pretty good gym to go to. But yeah, with all of that said, I do think this gym has a lot of undeserved hate going towards it, and I think people can definitely be a lot nicer to these gyms, because like put a lot of time and effort into the boulders, and making sure that everyone really loves to climb in their gyms, and having so much hate towards them, I feel like is also like not a good solution to get what you want and have the changes in the gym. And I think that's just like really disappointing, because this gym definitely didn't deserve any of this hate. But alright. But yeah, with all of this said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and the next rating video will be, I think, or the campus, or it will be Unity. I think probably first Unity and then the campus. Unity is one of the newest gyms in Utrecht. It's more for like beginners slash intermediate climbers, and I think I'm not gonna climb there. I'm gonna let my friend climb there, and I'm also going to ask him some questions about the Routesetting and Sociality and Friendlyness, and what he thinks about the gym, because he's more like falling into that category, while I'm a little bit like higher than him, with like I'm more like an advanced climber, and yeah, like he's more like a intermediate to advanced climber. So yeah, I think that will be like pretty interesting, I think. And after that, maybe I will be climbing in Sterk, Bouldergym Sterk, and then I'm going to be um, yeah, and like filming their session, and then I'm going to be raiding the Boulder the campus. I think the plan after that is going to be to go to Boulder Rotterdam. I haven't been there yet, and I'm just really curious, because I think that gym could be the best gym in the Netherlands, but we'll have to see. At least, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.